I'm Casey, welcome back to Sanji's Kitchen, and you know, today was supposed to be a fish dish. It was supposed to be a fish dish. We were supposed to do the elephant bluefin tuna, which is the most famous dish that Sanji cooks right before they enter the Grand Line. We were supposed to do that. Here's the thing. We can't do that because in the Sanji's Kitchen cookbook, if I head right to the fish itself, which, dear God Almighty, the elephant true bluefin saute, the ingredient needed is a blue marlin fillet. Guess what's out of season? And even though there are some bluefin tuna in a couple of the Japanese marketplaces I went to, they are just sashimi. It is for sushi only, and it will not make the dish. So until that fish comes back from season, we can't do it today. Apologies in advance. I kind of like learning what is in and out of season. But you want to know what is not out of season? The next dish we're doing. So for today, we are not going to be using this cookbook today, so you could just toss it. Like that. I know what you're thinking. What are we doing for today then? Well, are you ready for a tart? Yeah, it is right. We are doing the famous French Pear Tart, where I don't remember where it is in One Piece at the moment. So, yay. And if you're wondering, no, this is not in the cookbook. I'm going with my own recipe with this one that I just found. Now keep in mind, this is a French pear tart. A lot of them are going to be made a lot differently. Some will have almonds in it that are powdered with sugar. Some are going to have custard filling in them. In this case, we're just gonna do a simple pear tart. And also, a fun fact for the folks at home, I can't recall if I've had pears or not, so this is going to be a fun little treat. So the first thing you should make sure you do is wash your pears beforehand. This recipe, I believe, calls for about 3 to 4 pears. I'm gonna double look because I'm looking at my phone for this one. Yay! Yeah, 3 to 4 pears. Or apparently this recipe also calls it, I found it can be replaced with peaches too. So if you don't care for pears but you like peaches, you could replace the same thing. But yes, you can wash these about 3 to 4 pears themselves. But before we do the filling, we have to do the most important thing, and that is the crust. So without further ado, guys, let's get started with some baking. We're doing baking right now. Baking! Alrighty. The nice thing we need to start with this tart is the crust. And so, we're going to be gathering our ingredients for the tart. Minus the pears. The pears are going to be washed later. Because the one thing you want for your tart is you want to make sure you get the crust settled, and then you chill the crust in the fridge for an hour or two. That way the crust will be nice, firm, and pretty. And so, you're kind of wondering, what do I need for the crust? The good news? Here's what you need. And this is me trying to grab it all. Issac, yay! Where is the canola? Yay! Trying to grab the things I need. Should I have done this earlier? Maybe. I mean, the good news for you, Issac, you get some B-roll footage and he's trying to gather every single ingredient I need. So, yay! Alright, first, in one bowl, you're going to take about 1.5 cups of flour. Like so. I was also getting a knife because, for me personally, for both the viewers and the listening audience at home, I chill my flour. This way, it gets nice and cold, and to activate it a little bit more, you're going to just take a knife, you're going to just move it around. That gives everything nice and open, and you can use the same knife to cut up what you need open in here. So I'm going very slow, and also this is so much flour. I should not have worn all black clothing for this Sanji's kitchen. Like so. Alrighty, next up, you are going to take about, I'm making sure I read this carefully, half a teaspoon of salt. And no guys, I'm not using Himalayan pink salt, I'm using sea salt. I'm using the proper salts. And we're gonna plop that in there. And we're gonna reuse this for the vanilla later, since like it's just a simple pour. And then we're gonna put in about a teaspoon of sugar. Like so. Dry base. We're switching over to have all of our liquid base together. And what do you need for that? Well, a lot. We're going to separate our liquids and then dump them into our dries. But for liquids, you could do 1/4 a cup of either vegetable oil or canola oil. I was going to originally do canola oil, but we're going to be saving that for a recipe we're going to be doing next time. And what will that be next time? You're going to find out in the next episode. So we're going to just put 1/4 a cup of vegetable oil. Like so. Okay, next up, folks, I have 1/4 cup of butter. So we're gonna melt this in the microwave, and we're gonna let that chill while we put the other liquid ingredients in. Alrighty. We just have our melted butter. We're gonna let this cool for just a second. In the meantime, you get to put in 2 tablespoons of milk or water. We're gonna do milk because why not? Makes us feel classy. Okay, 1, 2. Like so. I will say, it's so weird to see the milk get itself already separated in the oils. It's weird, guys. You can see it. It's so weird. Oh, I shouldn't. I turned it. Alright, and then here's what I think is interesting. It only calls for half a teaspoon of vanilla. But when I do my baking, I always like to do 2 extras of vanilla. So we're gonna do 1. And then I'm just gonna toss 1 more extra to give it a little bit of oomph. Oh, this is cool science. The vanilla extract, because of the vegetable oil, it's seeping into the patterns where the milk is, and the vanilla seeped into the milk portions. Honestly, that's so freaking cool. Alright, now it says I need to whisk the oils, the milk, and the vanilla together, so we're going to whisk it. Like so. There we go, that looks looking a lot better. Not sure, it doesn't say how long I whisk it for, but we're going to whisk it until I think it's a good consistency. Alright, that looks good enough. Next, I wish I was joking with this one. We're going to pour our liquids into our dries, like so. Move it all in there, and then just let some of the other pieces sink in. And then we have to mix this with a fork. I don't know why a fork, folks, but it says we're going to be mixing it with a fork. Wish me luck. We're going to mix it. Like so. This is to gently mix. I think gentle just means churning it. I will say, I've never made a tart, and they say that tarts are supposed to be the most difficult thing to make. Keyword, I think. So, while I'm excited, I'm also a bit nervous. And remember, kids, just like the regular non-savory foods, wearing gloves is also helpful. So that way you're not doing any cross-contamination. Make sure you always wash your hands when you're cooking. This includes baking. Baking is a science. Alright, so you're going to be taking the dough, you're going to be squishing it. The recipe calls to have the dough cover the bottom and about halfway up the sides. So, this is nice and relaxing. It's like a Play-Doh consistency. I like that. Also, I'm really hoping that I have enough to cover this whole bowl. I'm really hoping that, guys. Alright, it's halfway as much as I can with the dish. Nice and soft. Like so. Yeah! The good thing, guys, like forming the dough is also nice and relaxing because you can, doesn't need to be perfect. You can also do this with a tart pan. I just have a pie pan that works. Now you have your beautiful dough. We're going to chill this in the fridge for a couple hours so that way this stands nice and firm before we bake it. So, I will be seeing you in a couple hours while I deal with the pear filling. Yay! So we're going to leave the skin on the pears, but I have a special little device that can help cork the seeds out and the stem. Though I don't know where to begin on here. Pears have an interesting shape, as you realize, but also I don't want to cut too much, so we're gonna attempt to cut a pear. I've never cut a pear before, guys. Let's see. Ooh, that was nice. Oh, it's set to keep them in their shape. And I'm gonna use my little knife here to get the seeds out. Because we don't need the seeds. Get out of there, you. Now the recipe calls for 3 to 4 pears. We're gonna follow the basics, but it calls for large pears. All the pears in the seeds are all small, so we're gonna just go with it. And also, cutting a pear, I've never had this much of a challenge before. It's the most awkward shape I've ever had to deal with. But we got the stem. Oh, that's pretty cool, guys, ain't it? And I'm trying to keep it into its shape. We're trying. This is difficult. I'm getting the pie tart out so we can start laying the pears in. So I did saran wrap over this so that way this could be chilled and it feels nice and chilled and pretty. And now, as we're cutting it, it says to arrange them in circles over the pastry. But at the very least, I can say that I'm doing my best here, and I'm feeling confident at the moment, even if I don't feel like I'm confident. Okay, we have the tart assembled, but you're wondering why I still have the sugar out. That's because we're going to be doing the topping onto it, and which is going to be the crumb topping. So what you're going to start with the sugar is 3/4 cups of sugar. This is what's going to give it the sugar, but also this is so much sugar. Look at it go. Next we're going to need is 2 tablespoons of flour. Like so. Ain't it pretty? And then the next thing we're going to need, this is what it calls for. I wish I was joking. It requires 2 tablespoons of cold butter. And when I mean cold butter, I do mean cold. Like, I just took this out of the freezer cold. Question is, will it cut? Oh, I'm gonna have to take my... Oh, man. I'm gonna place these on top. At this point, I really wish I had a rumble ball right now. I'm gonna just place the butter on top. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get it in. It says to wait until it gets crumbly. There's no way with this butter. So we're just gonna mix the sugar and flour together until it's nice and crumbly. And then we are going to pour it over. Oh, we have to sprinkle it. Sprinkle? Oh, I know. So I think I'm going to test something out. Now, you don't need to be fancy like me, but this could help sprinkle it. I'm gonna get a spoon. We're gonna test to see maybe this will sprinkle. So we're just gonna. Ooh. That could. Sugar's getting into it, but this counts. I am getting sugar and stuff all over the place, so make sure you do this in a nice environment. Okay. I think we got a good chunk of it, but we're gonna sprinkle the rest on, like so, with a spoon, apparently as the recipe intended. This is going to be, I think, the most overly sweet dessert I have ever made in my entire life. Like, 3/4 sugar. Have you ever heard of a recipe that calls for 3/4 cups of sugar? I don't believe you have. And then, I had no way to put this butter on. So we're just, there's pieces of it, so we're just gonna spread it. Because, like, how can you make it crumble? Like, there. There we go. And there's some extra butter. It was stuck on the paper, like so. Make sure before you put it in, we have to make sure that one, you get rid of any sugar flour crumbs. Because again, sugar flour crumbs came on it. We're also going to clean the rim real fast out from the flour and sugar crumbs. Like, good idea in execution. Probably never again. So it's going to look like it's a nice, it looks like it's covered in snow. Or in this case, flour or some sugar. We're going to put this in the oven for about 35 to 45 minutes. Make sure, and I like to do this with any of my pie trays, make sure you get the right cut tray to put over either your tart tray or your pie tray. It makes it much easier so that way it's not neatly sitting on the pie rack. This will be cooking in the oven for 35 to 45 minutes on a degree of 425. We will see you in that time period. I let it cook for about 45 minutes in total. It's interesting. It smells sweet. I can smell the sweetness. It's still bubbling. It's still oozing. We're gonna let this cool down for a few minutes before Rosa and I do our little taste test. So,
honestly, it's a tart. And I don't want to, as much as I like to kind of slice out from this, should I kind of slice to just show what the audience?
I mean, how else are we going to eat it?
Touche. The crust actually cooked, thank God almighty. This.
Smells good. Oh, it smells amazing.
It smells nice. I don't know how it's going to taste though, so as always.
You get first bite, so go ahead.
No, you always get the first bite.
I do?
Yes,
okay.
You always do.
We'll give it here.
This is my kitchen, my rules, bitch.
Hot. Hot, very hot. It's really good.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Given the fact that I just tried pears, like not too long
like an hour ago.
Yeah, an hour or so ago. We're gonna see how.
Very hot, be warned.
I can feel that it's hot from the sugar. Hot.
Yeah, try to tell you. It's good though.
Hot. Hot. No, I don't need water. Hot.
Heavy cream?
No.
White Claw?
No.
What do you want?
White Claw, please.
Here you go.
Oh.
Bad combination.
It may taste like medicine. Oh no!
I think it might just be the White Claw going bad.
No, I don't know.
But how was the tart itself?
I
harsh. It doesn't really have much flavor. I know it's just, it soaks up the sugar, the flour, and the butter, all that from the topping.
I think it worked really well. Yeah, I give it an A.
I honestly give it a B because I feel like this could work better if you substitute the pears out for apples. Can you imagine how if we switch fruits it'd be apple? The recipe I found, you can switch this out for peaches.
Yeah, I mean apple and peach toast is pretty common.
Yeah, this is a B from Sanji's Kitchen. Like this, honestly, this is like one of that rare desserts that we have that actually works.
Right?
And speaking of desserts, next time, you know how I mentioned Rumble Balls earlier? We're gonna attempt to make our own. Will they work?
Probably.
But in the meantime, do you guys want some? Alright, we're gonna start in the order it says for this, and I think the one thing that shocks me is how much liquid oil base is in here, so... Okay. Oh, that's a 1/3 cup. I almost did the wrong cup. There's the 1/4 cup. Way too much vegetable oil there. Do not put this in, Isaac. Or you can. I don't know what you're gonna do. I almost made a mistake. Alright.